Hey guys, welcome to the very first Project Runway recap that I'm doing this season. I wasn't going to do the show, but then I decided, hey, I want to throw my hat in the ring. So I might go back and film the first two episodes, not sure yet. It's the Teams edition. This is new to me. And to the show. They haven't really done this before, so all of the challenges are going to be team challenges. And there's two teams. There's the Dream Team and the Keeping It Real team. And this week, Heidi is the client. She's got a new fragrance out, and she is going to be launching it, and she needs two outfits, one for the runway and one for the TV and print campaign. And she's picky, kids. She's very picky. She wants the colors to be pink and gold and black, like on the packaging. And she wants each team to make 4 looks for the TV and print ads and 2 for the runway. And she wants it to be sexy, not slutty. That's pretty much the theme that she's always had in her taste level for the looks on the show. She does not like slutty. She likes sexy, though. Each team is going to have a $1,200 budget, which basically breaks down to an average of $200 per look. So I really think the Dream Team was going into it with an advantage because there's only 6 people on the Dream Team. And that means 1 person per look. You know what they say, too many cooks spoil the broth. Well, too many designers make the dress look crap. But, well, that remains to be seen. That's just my thought going into it. So Joe and Amanda are working together, and they can't really agree on a design. They're polar opposites in their design philosophies. He likes loose-fitting things, and she likes very fitted things, structural. But they do finally reach a happy medium, and Joe comes up with this lattice work inset thing that he's going to put on the dress, which looks kind of interesting. Now, Patricia, she actually manufactured her own fabric, which was really kind of cool. When she first started doing it, I thought, what on earth is she doing? She's cutting out all of these teeny tiny squares, and she's going to be sewing them together. First of all, that's going to take forever. And second of all, I don't know how that's going to hold up. But it really worked. She did it out of pink, and she did some larger ones out of gold leather. And I have to say, it really came together. I became a believer. And then Kate and Liana, they were working together. Now, Kate was a little concerned because Liana had immunity from last week, so she was afraid that it wasn't going to end well, because in the past, when people have had immunity, they kind of slacked off the next week. And they were really struggling, although they had very similar designs to begin with. I guess that's why they paired up. But they were kind of clashing on fundamental design parts of their design. So, Alright, so Benjamin, he's the last one we're going to talk about before the runway show. He was in an abusive relationship, and his mind is elsewhere. He really needs to focus. He had a great idea, I thought. It looked amazing when he sketched it out. But then when he started in with the Tim Gunn critique, he didn't really have much to show Tim Gunn. And from what he was explaining, I absolutely hated the way he said that the leather straps were going to be wrapped around the bodice. I really thought, if anything, that they would be sewn in place. But, I had an open mind. I wanted to see what the final product was going to be. And he barely got done. I don't really think he got done, but he did send something down the runway. So the judges this week, Heidi, Zach Posen, of course, taking the place of Michael Kors, I guess, for the entire season, Nina Garcia, and Kristen Davis, guest judge. So the runway show was pretty much one-sided for me. Keeping It Real, definitely, I loved almost all of their looks. Dream Team, I really didn't like any of their looks at all. Everything was very short on their, most of their looks were pretty short. most of the other teams' looks, keeping it real, I mean, they had a decent amount of gowns in there. So, Dream Team lost, and Keeping It Real wins. So that means the three winning, well, the top three looks are coming from Keeping It Real. But let's first talk about the losing looks, and that's from the Dream Team. First up, Matt. He had this sort of bondage dress that was really short, and Heidi said it was trashy, not sexy. And I'm going to have to agree, because it had like this weird thing coming up the neck, and then it had like this really weird, cheap-looking collar that was like, the corners were like folded down out of leather. It just looked like a dog leash to me. And then Cindy, she worked with this shantung fabric that was iridescent, which to me looked like a cheap shower curtain, or like some of those cheap Barbie clothes that you get in a multi-pack when your kids are small. The whole thing just looked really cheap. And Zach Posen, I mean, he was just like, even the pros, when they work with this fabric, I mean, you really have to be amazing to get it looking right. And I have to agree with him, it is a very tough fabric to work with. It didn't work well for her. It just... Alright, and then Benjamin, of course, the train wreck was unfinished, it was ill-fitting, her boobs were in danger of popping out, the straps were all wrong, she looked like 2 pounds of bologna in a 1 pound sack, the way she was roped in there. It just didn't sit right. Alright, now let's talk about the winners. Daniel. Oh, his dress was just so beautifully simple. The way that he worked the leather on the edges of the collar and the waist, he just gave it so much dimension that it looked like it was made that way. You know, like the cow made that leather that way. Leather can be very difficult to work with, but he made it look really beautiful, and the juxtaposition of the hard leather against the flowy fabric was just beautiful. And then Patricia, she was the one who made her own fabric. The leather mesh was so unique and fresh and young. Even though it wasn't tight fitting, it was still so well fitted. It wasn't sloppy. It was right. So I really loved her dress. I thought it was a little short though, but it was very nice. She did a fantastic job. And then Kate and Liana. I'm surprised that they were able to pull this together, because it seemed like it was kind of train wrecky for a while during the Tim Gunn critique. It had the chiffon-y corset. It was really stunning. The skirt was so flowy and classy, and the top was just elegant. They did a really good job on theirs. So, the winners for the campaign is Kate, out of Kate and Liana, because I guess the majority of the design was Kate's. So, congratulations, Kate. The winner of the press event was Daniel. I loved his dress. I was going to be very upset if he hadn't won one of those two. Even though he designed for the campaign, he got it for the press event. And the bottom two, well, that was going to be Benjamin and Cindy. And I was very surprised when they said that Cindy was out, because I thought for sure Benjamin was going home, because his was just so unfinished. It was horrific. Cindy's, at least she put something together. I mean, yes, she made a poor choice on the fabric, but her design wasn't really that bad. His was just a piece of fabric, ill-fitted, strapped on with some, cut up leather. It was just really weird. Every time Heidi would put that dress on, the leather straps would be in a different position. That's why I couldn't understand why he hadn't sewn them to the dress, but I guess even if he had intended to, he had run out of time anyway. So, sorry, Cindy. Next time, it's the old unconventional materials challenge. They can't decide between flower shop and hardware, so they're going to go with both. Till next time, much love.